And welcome back. It was this weekend, 5 decades ago, that thousands of people dancing on a muddy hillside in upstate New York made history, cementing Woodstock as a cultural phenomenon. The music festival offered 3 days of peace, love and music, and it didn't disappoint.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
As man was setting foot on the moon, the summer of 1969 in the US was one of idealism, political upheaval and social protest. Against the background of the Stonewall riots and the Vietnam War, hundreds of thousands of people made their way to Bethel, New York for a music festival called Woodstock. Staged 80 miles northwest of New York City on a farm owned by dairy farmer Max Yasgur, it was a great spot for peaceful vibes. But almost from the off, the festival ran into problems. The huge influx of concert-goers, along with abysmal weather conditions, resulted in a massive traffic jam stretching for miles.
I was there for 2 weeks filming the building of the stage and all the hippie carpenters sawing and hammering and stuff, and building this huge wooden platform at the bottom of this big hillside of alfalfa. And it was like summer camp. Then suddenly people started showing up, and first I thought, what are those people sitting up there on the hill? Oh yeah, it's going to be a big concert.
In fact, little went as planned. Fences came down, it became a free concert, the show ran late, food was scarce.
On our way up, we heard that, it was a lot more people than they expected, and everything was open now, and there were taking no tickets.
Here I was, this 18-year-old freak, not knowing where I was or who I was in my life, but feeling totally connected to everybody that was there.
Despite the food shortages, the chaos and the torrential rain, their spirits couldn't be dampened.
The conditions were pretty severe. It started raining after all the people got there. It got really muddy. And remember, these are all basically young people, kids. 500,000 people and not one umbrella,
The enduring story of Woodstock is that more than 400,000 people jammed into an area of about a square mile without a disaster.
It really showed that you could gather that many people from this supposedly, quote-unquote crazy hippie world and not have utter and complete chaos. I mean, it was chaotic in terms of the weather, and there were overdoses. I mean, it wasn't 100% perfect. All things considered, it went off pretty well.
Looking at the world through the sunset in your eyes. Traveling the train through.
More than 30 acts performed, and a few had career-defining moments. Because the concert ran into Monday morning, many missed Jimi Hendrix's iconic set. Hendrix was slated to perform on the Sunday, but due to rain delays, finally took to the stage at 8:30 on Monday morning. Many attendees had by this point left the festival, with only around 30,000 witnessing his iconic rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner.
When he played that Star-Spangled Banner, it was very startling, because, that was kind of the establishment song. Like, what is he playing that for? That's not our song. And then it was a thought, oh yes, it is our song. We're taking it back.
50 years later, memories of the weekend remain sharp among people who were in the crowd and on the stage for the historic Woodstock Festival.
I went to work on Monday, and I was working in a very, prim and proper office, and they knew that I went to a concert, and they had heard about, this whole Woodstock thing over the weekend, and they said to me, "Annette, you were at Woodstock?" They were incredulous.
I knew everything was going to be all right no matter what I did or where I was going to go. It wasn't just my long hair or the clothes that I wore. It was something in my soul.
The Woodstock Music and Art Fair, the 3-day Aquarian Exposition at White Lake and Bethel, New York.
Many attribute the endearing legacy of Woodstock to the Oscar-winning film and triple album, which brought it into the public consciousness.
Yeah, the movie was a huge hit at the box office. The album, which was a triple record and had a list price of $15, which was a lot of money back then, that was the #1 album in the country for 4 weeks. And those things really cemented the legacy, because you can actually have a piece of it, in the theater in your record collection, and that really elevated it to beyond just something you heard about in the news that you didn't actually see or hear.
The thousands who attended lost socks, sleep, and in some cases their sanity, but all gained an enduring sense of community.
For a minute, we were hopeful. For a minute, we were not facing the Vietnam War. For a minute, we were not facing losing the Kennedys. For a minute, Dr. King's death wasn't hanging over us. For a minute, we were behaving like decent human beings.
Amazing.
Amazing footage, isn't it?
Amazing stories to go with it as well.
Yeah. I mean, it happened before any of us were born, obviously, but it did.
We've all experienced, though, the torrential rain and the muck and the mess.
At a festival.
And it going wild. They sold, like, was it 200,000 tickets, but, like, more than double that showed up?
Yeah, nearly 500,000 people.
Oh, my God.
And they just went, oh, in you come.
And it was just a farm, was it?
It was a farm. There was even cows roaming around on the site. They tried to fence them off. It didn't work. They went, let them at it.
So this was a dairy farmer who kind of came to the rescue at the last minute in terms of
to give them the site, yeah, because he had the space for it, and they came from everywhere, as you can see.
Wow,
it's amazing.
Even the colours are kind of iconic, aren't they?
Yeah.
The footage, the tone of it.
Mm.
I wonder, is there any person watching this morning who was there?
And if they remember that they
or
were there.
Or anyone's parents who would have told them that they were there.
I'd say the real struggle would be remembering, given the nature of the event itself.
Yes. Having any level of detail or recollection.
I think I was there. I have a ticket somewhere, a stub or something. And that'd be it. It was more,
look at the child. Look at the child in the book.
That was it. That's the first iteration of the show-off parents. At Electric Picnic. You know those people who bring their kids?
Bring their kids to festivals with the headphones on. There is a couple, by the way, who, you know that iconic shot of Woodstock where the couple are wrapped in a blanket and the whole festival is going on around them? That one, there we go.
Amazing.
Apparently that couple were only dating a few months when that picture was taken.
Right.
And they're still together.
Amazing.
And they still live like down the road from,
So
there they are.
They're the Woodstock couple.
Yeah.
There must, one would suspect, be a lot of Woodstock babies who are now 50.
Yeah, good point.
Or 49.
Actually, yeah.
49, yeah.
Do the maths on it. Taking Woodstock was a very good movie. It was kind of about the time and the movie and growing up at the time and living in the time as a teenager and stuff. It was an Ang Lee film.
Really?
It's good. It's worth looking at.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, a very interesting
I'd say my
social
parents
time
were busy
as well.
watching Dickie Rock or some show
That's
band.
it, you see, yeah.
What did we have here?
We didn't have
Don't
that.
kill me for that.